Hi, welcome to my website. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you find some things here that you can utilize in your everyday life. And if you ever have anything that you think I might be able to add that would be of interest to others to this website, please let me know. The site was actually created to fulfill an assignment in the Community College Leadership Program that I'm studying right now at Ball State University. But I decided that I would probably continue this website on into the future because I've kind of always wanted to have a website like this. And so, thanks to Dr. Letts, I was pushed beyond my comfort level. So, I finally am learning how to do a lot of things this semester, which I guess that's what education is all about, partly. Lifelong education, we're always going to be learning things. And so, continuing to push ourselves beyond our comfort levels is a good thing. Anyway, the focus of this website has to do with higher education in general, but the impetus for creating the website was actually the final paper that I did. It was a question and answer paper about issues in higher education. And so that paper is included as a document within this website, so feel free to peruse that and I hope you gain some information from that as well as from this website. My focus was actually higher education again, and I think there are some changes that really need to be made to the system overall. I mean, thinking long term, I would probably make changes to the entire P through 12 education system, but as a starting point, I think we can start with adult education and community colleges and universities and try to start some of these changes so at least we might begin by educating some of the parents of our future college students. And by college, I don't mean that you have to get a degree to be successful. It can be a degree program or it can be a certification. So either one is good, but any kind of education that you get beyond high school cannot help but benefit you in the long run. Prior to being a student here at Ball State, I am a doctoral student at Ball State University here in Muncie, Indiana. I'm in the doctoral program in community college leadership, and my cognate or minor program of focus is communications. So eventually, I'd like to teach communications classes, interpersonal communications, or psychology classes. Any of those I find very interesting, and I enjoy sharing information with students. I love teaching and I love being around students, so that's one of the reasons that I'm here at Ball State right now. Another reason I'm here is because I really would like to change the educational system. So there are some things that really need to be changed, and so I had two main focuses, but within those two focuses there was some additional information. All the details you'll find in the paper that I wrote, as well as some of the links that are included in this website. Before coming to Ball State, I actually worked at Ivy Tech Community College up in northern Indiana. I was the career services director up there, and I kind of fell into that position, kind of not knowing what I was getting into, but once I was in there, I loved every day of that position that I had. I was actually there for 5 years as the Associate Director of Career Services and had worked there 3 years prior to that. So my total tenure at Ivy Tech was actually 8 years. So I got a lot of information about community colleges, which was really good, and which is kind of what led to my focus for community college leadership as a doctoral focus. Um, I think that even with the community college leadership focus, it also extends out to the community at large. And I do have an interest in any kind of community and local economic and workforce development. So those are all things that I enjoy being involved in and like to find innovative ways to implement change and to help people learn about those processes. So being in career services, I guess I realized that I had a real passion for career development. And so it seems like whenever I have a conversation with somebody, I always tend to make comments that have to do with careers or career development. So being aware of that fact, I guess, is what has led me to a potential focus of my dissertation as well. So it'll probably focus somehow on career development. But I also have a passion for higher education in general, and I think that the more education people have, regardless of what it is, whether, again, it's a certificate or a degree program. It doesn't matter what it is. Just the fact that you're getting more education only makes you grow and adds to the value of your life, and also sets a really good example for your family. So if you're a first generation college student and you're listening to this, please be encouraged, because I also am a first generation college student. I never thought I would go to college, let alone like now be working on a doctorate. But I really am enjoying this program, and I'm enjoying Ball State. I mean, it's a great college. So if you ever want somewhere good to go, this is it. But then back to the focus of my paper, as far as making changes in higher education. I believe that there are some components that are missing that I think we need to add or improve what we're already doing. So one particular focus as far as developmental education is that the developmental education is also known as remedial education. And that's kind of what students have to take in order to be prepared to be successful college students. And there's a lot of hubbub going around right now about eliminating like financial assistance for those types of programs. There's also an argument going on of whether the the responsibility for creating developmental education programs lies with community colleges, or if it actually lies in the K through 12 system. So I guess my premise is that if we could eventually change the K through 12, or as more people are learning to call it, the P through 12 system, until we get the overall changes made that we really need to make, at least we're making those changes at a higher level, and that way we can work our way down. But they're all necessary changes that need to be made as far as I'm concerned. I know my opinion is just one, but I think there are other people that agree with some of the things I have to say. One of the major things I think that's missing in education overall, but also in developmental education, is seeing the purpose of why you're taking classes. Most people don't go to college just for the fun of it. Some people do, which I'm probably one of those people, although I do have a career focus for after I graduate, but I still will probably never stop taking classes. I know I'm a lifelong learner, and I'm probably a professional college student, I guess they call it, because I doubt that I'll ever stop taking college classes. But one of the things that's missing, and one of the things I try to add when I'm teaching my own classes, is to have fun in the classroom. At some point when we were in elementary school, we had to start being quiet, we had to sit still, we couldn't raise our hands or talk or do anything unless the teacher said it was okay. It was kind of like the system kind of stifled our curiosity, and so we no longer enjoyed the process of learning. And so one of the things I think that needs to be changed overall in education, but especially in developmental education, is to have a good time in the classroom. There is nothing wrong with having fun, trust me. And I think students, when they're relaxed and they are enjoying the classroom experience, they learn and retain the information a lot better. So that's one of the things I think that needs to be changed overall. But then again, it also goes back to the point that there has to be a clear focus. And I think that focus comes from having what students know as their future careers in mind. And I think a major component that's missing in community colleges, or at least at Ivy Tech, is an immediate connection with the Career Services Department. Even if students have a clear focus of what they think their future career is, it still is beneficial to them to talk to somebody in Career Services. One of the main reasons I believe this is because, even though somebody is getting a degree in accounting, there are, especially in the future, probably unlimited opportunities in any organization, in any company, in any career cluster to use accountants, and they can work in a lot of different capacities. And so sometimes I think students don't really realize, if they're going into accounting, for example, what all of their options are. And so that's one of the reasons I think it's important for new incoming students to talk to career services people right away. But another reason for that is to help them understand what their strengths are. I know a lot of times people talk about our strengths and weaknesses, but according to Strengths Quest, which is a a test or an assessment that you can take, and then it ends up giving you what your top 5 strengths are. Focusing and leading from our strengths makes much more sense than trying to fix, and I say that in quotes, fix our weaknesses. If something is like what people call a weakness for you, like whether you're left-handed or right-handed, if one of those is a weakness, should you waste your time trying to fix that? Because actually, it's not going to really benefit you to fix being left-handed or right-handed. The important thing is to figure out who you are and what you like to do, and then lead from your strengths and your skills and your abilities and your passions, especially your passions. And I think career development is a major part of helping students find out and discover those things about themselves. Because many times, which I've been talking to different people, and this is totally an informal conversation that I've had, but a lot of times students will have a career assessment maybe in high school or even younger, but after the assessment is done, nobody really sits down with them and tells them how to use the assessment. And career development or career professionals who are trained in that area are able to help students wade through